You hold a skull in your hands. It's small, smaller than yours. This belonged to one of your ancestors about 2 million years ago. Inside it sat a brain the size of an orange. Then something happened. In roughly 1.4 million years, that brain tripled in size, 3 times bigger, fast enough that evolutionary biologists call it a runaway event. No other organ in the fossil record grew this quickly. And here's the strange part. We still don't know why. Brains are expensive. Yours weighs about 3 pounds. That's 2% of your body weight, but it burns 20% of your calories every minute, forever. Evolution doesn't tolerate that kind of cost without a payoff. And yet somewhere between Australopithecus and us, the cost kept climbing. Australopithecus afarensis, the species Lucy belonged to, walked the savannas of Ethiopia 3.2 million years ago. Her brain held about 400 cubic centimeters, roughly chimp-sized, then Homo habilis. Then Homo, 600 cubic centimeters. Homo erectus, 900. Then us, 1,400. Tripled in a sliver of geological time. Anthropologists have spent a century arguing about why. There are 3 main theories. The cooking hypothesis says fire unlocked the calories needed to feed a big brain. The social brain hypothesis says we needed bigger brains to manage bigger groups. The variability hypothesis says rapid climate swings selected for animals that could improvise. All 3 might be partly right. None of them quite explains the speed. Other primates face the same pressures. Cold snaps, predators, tribal politics. None of them tripled their brain size. Something about our lineage was different. And whatever it was, it happened in the blink of an evolutionary eye. August 1984, the west shore of Lake Turkana, Kenya. A fossil hunter named Kamoya Kimeu was walking the dry hills near a place called Nariokotome. He spotted a small piece of skull, dark and fossilized, sticking out of the dirt. He marked the spot and called Richard Leakey. The team came back and dug for 5 years. What they pulled out of that hillside changed everything. They called him the Turkana Boy, a nearly complete skeleton of a Homo erectus teenager, about 1.6 million years old, tall, long-legged, built for running, and his skull held about 900 cubic centimeters of brain, more than double his Australopithecus ancestors from less than 1 million years before. Around the same time, the archaeological record shows something else. Stone tools getting sharper, more complex, cut marks on animal bones, and, in some sites, scorched earth, charcoal, the signature of controlled fire. In 1999, a Harvard anthropologist named Richard Wrangham proposed something radical. He argued that cooking didn't just feed our brains, it built them. Cooked food is softer, easier to digest, it releases more calories than raw. A cooked steak gives you about 30% more energy than a raw one. Wrangham's idea was that once our ancestors started cooking, their guts could shrink, and the metabolic budget freed up by smaller intestines could be redirected straight to the brain. It's a beautiful theory. The problem is the dates don't quite match. We see brain growth starting before we see clear evidence of fire. Turkana Boy's brain was already enlarged before any reliable hearths show up in the fossil record, by hundreds of thousands of years, depending on how you read the evidence. Now the strange part, you'd expect the brain to keep growing, bigger and bigger, right up to us. That's not what happened. About 20,000 years ago, human brains started shrinking, not by a little, by about 10%. That's roughly the size of a tennis ball. Gone. Nobody knows why that happened either. Some researchers think we got more efficient, better wiring, less mass. Others think living in dense, cooperative societies meant individuals didn't need to know as much. Group memory replaced personal memory. Whatever the reason, the same species that exploded in cranial capacity for 1 million years is now quietly losing it. Think about what that means. The trait that defines us, the one we built civilizations to celebrate, peaked sometime in the Stone Age, and nobody on Earth has ever explained why it grew, or why it stopped. You set the skull back down on the table. It's small, quiet. Inside it, 60,000 years ago, a brain almost identical to yours was doing the same thing yours is doing now, wondering. We have fossils. We have theories. We have the cooked meat and the chipped tools and the burned hearths. What we don't have is the reason. The honest answer is we don't know.